Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me for today's book club. So, we're on week 12 out of 13 for the 90-day Soulmate Plan book club. So, you're almost there. We're almost at the finish line. And just want to introduce myself. I'm Sarika Jain, love and relationship coach, and I support women in attracting their dream life and their dream relationship, their soulmate relationship. And I've pretty much reverse engineered my own journey of finding love, finding my husband in 90 days. And I've served countless clients in finding their soulmates. And this process has worked. So I just want to encourage you to keep showing up for your love life. And the way you're doing it through this book club is great. It's perfect. Okay. So this week, we're going to be talking about inviting the masculine into your life. And this is kind of the final step before we talk about dating, how to actually get out there and date. And if you're already dating, that's perfectly fine too. But this is going to help support you in actually consciously inviting healthy, high quality, emotionally available men into your life. Okay. So before we get started, I'm going to do a little mindfulness meditation just to ground us. As I've shared, mindfulness is such a powerful practice. It's a way of being present, of allowing for stillness so that you can actually see your subconscious patterns rising up and you can clear them in this way. And you can actually manifest anything you want when you're in the present moment. When you're consciously setting intentions and clearing out your inner blocks and showing up for what it is that you want to manifest. Okay. So I invite you to close your eyes. And before you do that, just turn off any apps, email, phone. And for this whole hour, if you can, just be fully present. And so I'm going to ring the bell 3 times and invite you to close your eyes. Together, let's take an inhale and exhale. And together, let's take another inhale, filling up your heart, your chest, your lungs. And exhale. And together, let's take one last long inhale, filling up your whole body with white light. And exhale. And I'm going to just start us off with a prayer. I invite you to imagine a white light streaming down on you from your higher self, this white light of love, healing, and grace, permeating your scalp, filling your eyes, nose, ears, and mouth. This white light flowing down your neck, down your spine and back, down your arms and hands. This white light filling every cell with the energies of love, healing, and grace. This white light flowing to your heart, your chest, your lungs, your breasts, flowing down to your stomach, your gut, your reproductive organs, and other sacred organs, down your pelvic floor, down your legs and feet, into Mother Earth, circling her, surrounding her. This white light flowing up your feet, up your legs, and all the way to your heart. You are born out of love by Mother Earth and Father Sky. You are loved deeply for who you are. You're wanted and needed on this planet exactly as you are. Bring your attention to your heart, noticing the sensations of your heartbeat, smiling at your heart, gratitude for your heart, love for your heart. And then bring your attention down to your gut, noticing the sensations arising, lovingly accepting what is. And then bring your attention back to your heart and think of someone or something you are grateful for. And one intention for today. And I'll say a prayer. Dear God, dear higher selves of all the women and men listening to this call, dear life, Please support us in stepping into our most ecstatic, loving, compassionate, wise versions of ourselves. Thank you for providing unconditional love and support in our journeys. May we create the conditions to attract a healthy, loving life partnership and other opportunities and abundance into our lives. May we be guided to living to our full self expression. And we're just going to practice a few minutes of silent meditation. I'll just guide us along in the process with the bell. Breathing in, I'm aware of my in breath. Breathing out, I'm aware of my out breath. In, out. Breathing in, I'm aware of the sensations of my breath as it enters my nose. Breathing out, I'm aware of the sensations of the breath leaving my nose. In, out. Breathing in, I notice the thoughts permeating my consciousness. Breathing out, I observe these thoughts passing by like clouds, bringing my attention back to my breath. In, out. Breathing in, I notice all the sensations and the sounds around me. Breathing out, I bring my attention back to my breath. In, out. Breathing in, I'm aware that this is the present moment. Breathing out, I know that it is the only moment and it's a beautiful moment. Present moment, only moment, beautiful moment. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be free from suffering. May my loved ones be happy. May my loved ones be happy and healthy. May my loved ones be free from suffering. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be free from suffering. Thank you. You can slowly open your eyes and thank yourself for being here, for practicing some mindfulness, some meditation. I hope you're doing great. So, today we're going to be talking about step 4 of the 5-step program for calling in your soulmate. And step 4 is about preparing for love, preparing for healthy love. And we're going to be talking about how to invite the masculine into your life. Okay. So, what happens is a lot of times we're just unconsciously dating, not even recognizing when we're either attracting or repelling men. We just have no idea. We're just approaching dating from a very like goal oriented place. But what if you could actually consciously invite in that love? Kind of like how we talked about the feng shui principles around love, right? Where you can energetically draw this love into your life. And I've seen that with anything, right? With abundance, with opportunities, and even with men. Okay. So we're going to be using this time to consciously call in that masculine energy that you're really craving for. I'm going to start reading. I'm on page 242. Okay. Ah, men, how much we love them and love to hate them. For all their shenanigans, they somehow find a special place in our hearts, and we yearn to be with them. Our heart knows what's true. With men, we get to experience heart fluttering romance, make ecstatic love, flirt, build a beautiful home, experience fabulous adventures, do business, have a family, and on a bigger picture, create a peaceful, thriving world together. So I'll say that before I started this journey and after that breakup with my fiance, I really wondered why we need relationships. Like I was like, I think I'm done. I don't want to date anymore. I'm happy being single. And I'd actually found that place of contentment in my life. And I remember Pat, my healer at the time, telling me, Sarika, your life will feel lonely. At the end of the day, don't you want to you know, have someone to share memories with, someone that you could witness each other's journeys with. Like at the end of the day, that's what we want, is to be witnessed. And I was like, yeah, that's true. I do want that. I do want some expansion, but I'm also afraid of getting hurt, right? I'm also afraid of calling in the same kinds of relationship patterns. And so I took on a challenge of really building healthy relationships with men and releasing my distrust of them, and also yearning for that, yearning for all of this. And I will say that that's what I have manifested in my life today. I have this beautiful partnership with my husband, Christian. He's just so lovely. Like I look at him every day and I'm like, how is this possible? And we've built this beautiful home together, and our kids, it feels like they're growing up in a haven. And my parents, my in-laws come, my sisters. Like, it's just this beautiful home that we've created together, and he's so supportive of my dreams, and I am too. I'm so supportive of him and his potential. So, it does feel like I think there is this unique relationship that we have with men, and especially a romantic partnership. Okay. Whether it's our father, brother, lover, work spouse, the electrician, or even the local bodega owner, the men in our lives make our life better and more fulfilling in their own ways. It's also fun and juicy being around men. They're strong, determined, intellectual, sexy, funny, loyal, protective, and supportive. And the list goes on. In fact, I found my most growth has happened through my relationships with men, just probably what got me on the path of becoming a love coach. I've found that every relationship I've been in with guys, it's brought up all my wounds, it's brought up my insecurities, my desires. Every change I've made in my life has been to follow a guy. It's so funny. So, but I will say that every man in my life, whether it's my father, my cousins, um, my uncles, my husband, my nephews, like, they just play such a unique role in my life, and each of them have their own unique role. And overall, I feel loved and supported by their energy. Like, I've seen that throughout my life. I have actually been very supported by men. And it's only been my narrative that's made me like distrust men. Okay. Yet, what I found is that so much of our lives as women is putting up defenses around men for a good reason. Whether at home or work, we've faced our fair share of challenges with them. We've experienced betrayal, hurt, intimidation from the very people we seek approval and acceptance from. Mansplaining, misogyny, and double standards seem to be norm in our society. We've also watched women in our own lives struggle with men, whether it's seeking independence at home, equality in the workplace, and safety from some sort of abuse. So I know that a lot of my clients, especially ethnic clients, South Asian clients, but women in every part of the world, right? Our mothers have had to face, sort of power struggles with their husbands, and a lot of these women have, like, I would say 80 to 90% of the women I've coached, their mothers were dependent on their fathers, and hence they were also facing power struggles with them. They felt inferior in some way. And now I do believe that as women, we can be dependent on our partners, but in a healthy way, and likewise, they're dependent on us for many, many things. So it's kind of just going back to having a healthy, relationship with men, and building your own relationship from that place of mutual respect and trust. So we don't have to relive our mother's patterns, our grandmother's patterns, but we find that we're kind of repeating their patterns by putting up defenses and, being emotionally dishonest. So this section is going to help you work through some of that subconscious push and pull relationship with men. I mean, and it doesn't help that there is an overall narrative that men are the problem, right? Um, misogyny and mansplaining, like, they're the norm. And in my personal experience, I don't think it is. I don't think it's the norm. I think that, there is a percentage of men that are like that, or there are men who unconsciously play out some of these patterns. But I've also seen that a lot of women uphold the same, dogma, or they prevent other women from growth due to jealousy or insecurity. So I don't know. Personally speaking, that's not been so true for me, but I know many clients have experienced abuse, or, have watched abusive relationships between their parents. And so if that's the case, then, I really urge you to get support, get support from one person on our team, like a therapist, a coach, because, you need to work through some of this in order to fully open your heart, because you are capable of attracting a partnership that's healthy and honors you and values you and cherishes you. but you kind of have to let go of the defense that you have around it. Okay. For this reason, women have created roadblocks when it comes to inviting healthy love with men. We send energies of independence and not needing a man or not trusting them. We easily go into fight or flight mode when we feel attacked and feel defensive against being taken advantage of in any way. Does that resonate for you? Do you feel afraid of being taken advantage of? Do you feel afraid of being taken granted of? Do you struggle with trusting men? I know I have. I've faced all of that. I remember being that controlling partner who was, like, always checking her guy's phone. Um, yeah, there were a lot of things I've done in my past relationships, which I know, sabotaged them because of my own insecurities and defenses. Here's the irony of it all. We're so afraid of being insecure and needy that we end up being insecure and needy around men. Len Hu, the psychiatrist who brought the practice of Ho'oponopono into the world, shared that the most prevalent program that he works on is healing women's distrust of men. It's like a wild weed that keeps growing in our consciousness that he spends all his time clearing. So this is a Hawaiian psychiatrist who basically healed an entire ward of criminally insane people through the practice of Ho'oponopono, which is, I'm sorry, thank you, I love you, please forgive me. You can check out this prayer and this person, Len Hu's work. Like, just do a Google search. It's incredible. Okay, that's how powerful our our word is, our intentions are. And he found that the worst problem that he's seen is how women distrust men. I thought that was so profound. I was like, wow, like of all the problems in this world, he was able to pinpoint that one being one of the most traumatic in our society. So I just want to say, like, if you struggle with distrust with men, it's not you. It's actually like an undercurrent, like a program that's running for all of us. And we all have to heal this collectively. The problem with this program is that it keeps men and women in a gridlock. Women being untrusting of men and men feeling mistrusted and ashamed, furthering the program through their unconscious dynamic. Isn't that heartbreaking? Unfortunately, our fear and natural defensiveness gives rise to a whole host of unwholesome behavior that become commonplace for women, emasculating men through criticism and judgment, being controlling, or withholding love and appreciation. I'll be getting into ways women push men away in the next section, but just know that it takes two to tango, and that as women, we've played an equally painful role in our gender dynamics. You might be on your best, most self aware behavior when you're starting to date, but trust me, the minute you get triggered or are insecure, you will begin this unconscious downward spiral into darkness if you're not careful. I say this with tremendous humility because I see myself playing out emasculating patterns in my marriage nearly every day, and I now know how many men I've put through hell. In fact, I see this as one of my primary areas of spiritual growth, releasing the barriers around my heart, around my husband and other men in my life, and learning how to grow my love, respect, and sense of interdependence with them. While you may have needed this defensive shield in the past, it's time to lay down your arms, dear goddess. From this day forward, you can begin to truly believe in the inherent goodness of men, especially the higher vibrating ones you are attracting into your life, and create positive dynamics that only increase your sense of fulfillment and well being. You can be your most powerful, loving, and authentic version of yourself, confidently attracting men into your life that love and respect who you are. And I will say that every one of my clients has experienced this. They've experienced attracting high quality men, emotionally available men. I mean, I had a client the other day text me about how she went on 2 dates with men before Valentine's Day, and both of those men showed up for her. And she's amazed because she's never been in a serious relationship before. And now she feels like she could just, if she gives them a call, they'll show up. Like, that's how confident she feels, which is so amazing. It's so amazing that she's reveling in that adoration of men. And she's being so respectful of them, which is amazing. She's not misusing her power, um, because all these men are finding her so attractive, so magnetic, and yet she's just holding this with such sacredness and respect. So I just think she's such an example of what a woman looks like in her power. Okay, so I'm going to invite you to do an exercise. So I invite you to close your eyes and drop your awareness into your body and say, I really desire to open my heart to men, to trust them, need them, but something is blocking me. Okay, so dropping your awareness into your body, just notice what physical sensations arising. Is there a chest tightening, a rumble in your belly, or just warmth and relaxation? Where do you feel the denseness, the resistance, the blockages? What stories or thoughts are arising? And just take a moment to observe these sensations in your body. It's not good or bad, it just is. And maybe you can just think to yourself, okay, even if I'm feeling these sensations or these thoughts, I love, accept, and forgive myself. And you can slowly open your eyes. So, that little meditation will give you an idea of where you feel this resistance towards men in your life. And one thing you can do is every day you can just tune into, if you wanted to, like for the next week or so, just tune into this meditation, like where you say, okay, I really desire to trust and need men and love men, but something is blocking me. And drop your awareness into your body and just hold whatever sensations are coming up. Because the more you can let rise up and be seen and observed, and even say, okay, even though I feel these things, I love, accept, and forgive myself, those are going to dissipate. Okay. Because those are all your old energetic or emotional imprints in your body, and they're just coming up to be seen, which is really why I love practicing meditation and mindfulness and things like that, because that that's what helps create the conditions for these subconscious things to come up and dissipate. Okay. So I really desire for you to go into the dating world with an open mind and belief system that most men are good, caring, loyal, and kind, especially the ones that you're attracting now. Okay, so what are some steps that you can begin to consciously bring down your barriers and invite the masculine into your life? So I've shared some exercises that you can do. And these are just beautiful exercises. The first one is making an inventory of the men in your life and what positive things have they provided for you in the past. These relationships with men, whether it's your father, your exes, brothers, etc. And just what do you love about them? So I want you to really talk about, what do you love about men? Okay, these specific men. Okay, and just soak in gratitude these qualities. Okay, it's good to get an idea of what ways you have been supported by men and why you love men, because it'll help you touch into that feeling of desire. The second exercise is about writing a letter to your soulmate. And I actually met a man who has this whole method around manifesting soulmates, and it's through writing a letter. He wrote a letter to his future partner, and he used to talk to her all the time. Like, he'd be getting into the shower and he'd be like having a conversation with her, and sharing his deepest secrets and dreams and desires, and sharing what he wants and needs, and almost like just imagining her in his life. And then she showed up. So that's how manifestation works. It shows up, first in the etheric realm, and then in the spiritual, the energetic, the emotional, the mental bodies, and then finally in your physical body. And basically, that's what we've been doing in this book is like we've been kind of just creating this soulmate imprint on all these levels so that when your partner does arrive, you've, consciously manifested him into your life. Okay. So when you see men, think, I love you, I need you, I trust you. Okay. So this is really powerful practice you can do while walking down the street, going to the office, and just notice what sensations are coming up for you. Maybe at first you don't feel a sense of trust. Maybe you pass a homeless person or someone you see who's screaming or whatever. And if it's a guy that you're triggered by, you can maybe even think, okay, I love you, I accept you, I forgive you. And if it's just a normal guy passing by, think, I'm sorry, thank you, I love you, please forgive me. And that just helps you heal your subconscious um, conditioning and mistrust of men. And it also sends such positive vibes to men. So I feel like it's such a healing exercise that we could be doing as women. Okay. And then the fourth one is begin hanging out with your friends who are men, who are even married. Like just have a good time. Hang out with healthy men. Okay. Some of my clients, they just begin to have such healthy relationships with their dads, with their brothers, and with their friends and their husbands. Like they don't even mind being a third wheel anymore. So it's just like when you know that you're doing it from a place of like just honoring the men in your life, then you're gonna see that they're positive, like positive men are gonna show up more and more in your life. And then the last one is begin having playful interactions with men. So I think that's a fun exercise and it's a bit vulnerable, right? Like you're in a coffee shop and you like joke with the guy next to you. At a bar, like strike up conversation with the person at the bar, the bartender. Just have a sense of fun and play with men in general. It doesn't have to be like, okay, you're like, listening to your music and you you don't look at anyone around you. And I mean, this is like what's common in New York, right? And don't look at the person next to you. And then only when you're on dating apps or only when you're on a date, you talk to random men. Like, no, just make it part of your life. And of course, practice safety, practice, the morning ritual where I have you put like a shield around you so that only things of your vibration or higher enter your field. Okay. I always say that prayer in general because, you only do want to be inviting in resonant and high vibration activities into your life. Okay. All right. So on page 246, I talk about how to create sizzling chemistry with men. So this is so important. This is what really makes uh, this program so unique, right? I talk about how to release your barriers to love, but then also like how do you create that magnetism with men that's natural, it's not made up. Okay. So I'm sharing two principles in here. The first one is around sexual polarity. And sexual polarity is something that's talked about by a person named David Data. He's a teacher, spiritual teacher, and I love his books. He wrote a book called Dear Lover that I restarted listening recently, and I invite you to check out that book. I got it on Audible. It's fun to listen on Audible because he's like talking to you as though he were your lover and what he finds like so delicious and adorable about women. And I feel like just listening to that book and even just sitting through my triggers around the book is helpful because it's like helping further, release my barriers around being loved by men, you know. So, anyways, he has a quote: "The positive and negative poles of a battery create electrical flow. The masculine and feminine poles between people create a flow of sexual energy and motion." So, this is great. Like, once you understand this theory of polarity, you're going to see that it can apply in every part of your life. Like, you can become so magnetic, so irresistible when you understand polarity. Okay. And it's not hard. It's basically the principles we've been talking about in this book, right? So on page 246, as you're stepping into your true feminine power, you now have access to a sacred principle that creates long-lasting attraction and chemistry between men and women. It's understanding the fundamentals of how sexual energies flow through us and generate a magnetic pull between partners. Sadly, in our world, the idea of being feminine and masculine is getting more diluted. Many women are taught to be in their masculine at work and school and fight hard to keep their feminine sides alive, well, during their relationships and in mothering. Men are taught to hide their emotions and pride themselves in their intellect, success, physical strength, and elevating the alpha male archetype while dimming down their own feminine side, regularly feeling emasculated in their relationships. I recognize that these are broad generalizations, and what could be occurring is more nuanced. Men and women are confused about their gender roles while unconsciously playing out both wounded masculine and feminine sides. This leads to watered down sexuality and attraction, and couples get into a dissatisfied loop of being too busy for love, sexual displeasure, addictions, and seeking for something outside their relationship to fulfill them. A relationship has everything in it, an entire world. If a man and woman were to truly mine the richness of their essences. And that's something I have seen. Like my relationship with my husband has everything in it, you know? Like I could seek fulfillment through my work, through writing books, through motherhood, through whatever, socializing, my own projects, but really at the end of the day, I have always come back to, wow, like my relationship has everything in it in terms of my growth areas, you know, in terms of being challenged and also being fulfilled. So I share some core masculine and feminine traits, and masculine traits are what we're more used to, right? It's being goal driven, analytical, um, being definitive and decisive, seeking information, doing research, right? Those are all masculine tendencies and they work. They work great, right? But the feminine side is more intuitive. It's the search for love and intimacy. It's about compassion. It's about beauty, being emotional, being embodied. I haven't mentioned that in this list, but it's like, finding your truth within. It's about being intentional. So, and it's also about being unpredictable. Okay. And so these are two different energies, right? Um, and so just notice for you, like, when do you embody these traits? When do you embody the masculine traits? When do you embody the feminine traits? And can you see that these are complementary to each other, right? If both were embodying either masculine traits or either feminine traits, then there'd be a clash. So that's why it's helpful when within a couple, you have one embodying some traits and the other embodying the other traits. And then there's like dynamic tension. Okay. So sexual polarity exists when one takes on a more feminine essence and the other a more masculine one, especially when it comes to the relationship. So this is key. It's not, you don't always have to be in your feminine all the time. It's just in your relationship, if you want your man to be more masculine, which is what a lot of women want, then you've got to embody more of the feminine when you're around your partner. Okay. So polarity is important because it has an electromagnetic pull that creates dynamic tension between the two, an electromagnetic field of pure potency, creation, sexuality, propulsion towards something greater than the two. Okay. So, just taking stock here, I'm curious, like, what comes up for you, when you hear this concept? Is it triggering? Is it intriguing? Where do you resonate? Where do you not? Okay. So now we're going to move into what do men really want anyway? So this is important to know. I'm going to take a sip of water. Okay. So a lot of times, we just assume that men want what we want. And yet, when you look at the world through a guy's eyes, you can actually, it makes life so much easier. You don't have to guess what men like. I think, I think women are always confused. Like, what do men want? What do they see in me? And this is going to answer this for you. Okay. So, the three things that men want. Okay. Men want to pleasure, protect, and serve you. The second thing is they want to feel free to be themselves around you. And the third is they want to know that you trust, respect, and need them. Okay. So this is really important. Like, I would encourage you to write this down. And some of this is counterintuitive. Okay. And I'm going to share why. Okay. So the first point around men want to pleasure, protect, and serve you. It's hard to imagine for women. It's hard to imagine this as women because we've been so conditioned to do the opposite, okay? To pleasure men and to serve them and even protect their feelings. Yikes. Think about all your past relationships with men. Were you the one doing most of the work, trying to figure out what his favorite dish is, how to get him to call you, what what to say to him if something's bothering you? Do you constantly feel stressed and anxious around men, especially after the honeymoon phase? Do you do the same with the men in your career and family? So it's true. It's like most of us spend all our time like trying to appease men. It's so ironic, right? We're when you're in a relationship, it's normal to be the one that's like mothering a guy. And yet it's actually men who want to protect, pleasure, and serve you. Okay. So, in order to do that, you have to be receptive, grateful, and allow men to serve you in the best way they can. Okay. So, I talk about what motivates men, and I share about it right here. Um, it's important just to see like men and women were biologically different. Okay. Men are wired to be warriors and soldiers. They are loyal, move to serve, even risking their lives for their cause. Like if you think about soldiers, right? They're so loyal. They're moved by a higher cause. They're driven by their goal to protect their country, kill enemy, and bring about safety for their land. They follow orders from their commander and will always follow through without resistance because they value integrity, honor, and respect. Okay. And men are also like hunters. They can work in solitude or through single minded tunnel vision. They hunt down their prey and kill it. They're determined and won't come home until they have food for the family. Okay. And this is important, right? Sometimes women, they're dating men who haven't figured out their purpose yet. They're not successful in their career yet. And so they're in these relationships that are taking a long time, like years and years. And it's because a guy isn't there yet. A guy isn't ready to settle down yet because he still hasn't established himself. He in his psyche, he doesn't feel like he's ready you know, to provide for his family. Okay, so it's not about a guy not being into you. It's just men are wired to serve their family. And if he's not able to do that, then it's going to take him more and more time to get there to commitment. Okay. So, what if you were the prize? Okay. What if you were the very thing that a man loves and wants to protect and serve? So, just tuning into that, like you actually are what men want. Why do men seek out fancy cars, have high incomes, get a six pack? It's because they want to be appealing to women. I think that I forget where who talks about this, whether it's like men are from Mars, women are from Venus. And this sounds so old fashioned, right? But it's true. It's like tribal knowledge, right? It's primal. It's who we are wired to be. Okay. So the real grounded man, the king, won't be necessarily driven by all of this on the outside, but he seeks out to be with his queen and he wants to fulfill you in a joyful, pleasureful, ease filled life and be of service to you and the family. He wants to pleasure you sexually and wants to turn your life upside down. Okay, so just know that in your heart that your future partner wants to serve you and serve your family and protect you. Okay. Women regularly get in the way of men's natural instincts by competing with them, showing them that they're independent and don't need any help. They show a man that no matter what he does, she's not content or happy. On the flip side, women behave like damsels in distress, drawing on these precious energies from men like energy vampires. Okay. It's our role as women to find contentment within ourselves, be in gratitude, articulate our desires, and honor men for the roles that they play in our lives. We have to get out of men's way and cheer them on as they serve and protect us and fuel our pleasures in their own unique ways. So, this is important. Okay. We want our guy to do everything for us. We want him to be the one stop shop where he can do everything like us, but then I always hear from women how they think that their partners are slow, they don't get it. They like have this idea that their partner is less capable than them. But you just have to understand that men are differently abled and they're able to do a lot of things that we can't do. So, just allowing men to serve you in all their different ways. Like you don't need to have one person. Like it's like having one friend. You don't have just one friend who offers you all the love and support and wisdom and joy and, all of that. You have many friends, right? And likewise with men, you kind of have each man has a role in your life to play and you just have to applaud and allow for each different type of support and love from men, okay? So that takes the pressure off of you needing and desiring that from one single man. Okay. The second point is that men want to feel free around you. I love this quote by Thich Nhat Hanh. It's one of the first quotes that I read that really woke me up because I was so controlling in my relationships. You must love in such a way that the person you love feels free. So I talk about in this section about how men, they have all these natural tendencies. What do men do when they're away from women? They eat, sleep, watch TV, play games, burp, work out, talk crap with other men. They compete, they masturbate, they, wear sweatpants, they nerd out about like cars and watches. Like, I don't know, my husband recently found a telescope. He's nerding out about the telescope. It's like men have their own world, right? But, when they're around women, they come off as being refined and, you know, kind, well-groomed, caring, romantic. So it's like they're playing these two different sides and they're doing this for us, okay? So women bring out the best in men, otherwise they would be floundering away purposelessly. So women give men purpose in a way. So, but at some point, men get tired of playing a charade around women and their natural tendencies begin to shine through. As they fall in love and feel more comfortable around their sweetie, they can finally let their guard down. Can you begin to have empathy for men as they work so incredibly hard to curb their natural biological instincts in order to be better for us? It fills my heart with so much love and appreciation as I write this, and I'm incredibly humbled by their genuine desire to curb these qualities and be their best around us. So, as women, our greatest service to men is to help them feel understood, seen, and cherished for who they are. So, it's important to try not to change men. Don't try to put them on a performance improvement plan. Don't try to make them better. Don't try to make them a project. It's funny though, like a lot of women take on men as projects, but if you really want a high quality man, you shouldn't have to like judge him and analyze his every action and test him and act unhappy around him. Like focus on being happy within and kind of just allowing a man to be free around you. Okay. Peop it That's what falling in love feels like. Falling in love feels like um being accepted around someone. So when a man feels accepted around you, his his oxytocin levels rise. Oxytocin is a bonding hormone. Okay, so when he's feeling nurtured in a relationship, then oxytocin levels rise, and that's what falling in love feels like. So that's the secret. So if you help a man feel nurtured and seen and safe in a relationship, then he's going to fall in love with you. Okay. The magic you bring is to give men a great experience around you. Okay. So, and then I've shared some tips on like how to let men be men. Okay. Don't embarrass them. Don't go. I have a lot of really solid examples here because these are all things that I've done in the past and my clients have done in the past that have ruined relationships, right? They make men like just lose interest. And that's the thing is we do a lot of things to push men away, and these are all solid ideas on how to like create safety and love and acceptance in your relationship and how to let your man be a man. Okay. And then the third one is that men want to know that you trust, respect, and need them. I think this is the most important. I mean, all of these 3 points are important, but this one, oh my God, I've had to really work on personally. Okay. In our world, love is elevated to the highest level, and we watch romantic movies of couples falling in love and setting off into the horizon on a white horse. We assume that things will work out for the unassuming, rose tinted glass wearing couple. Yet, what I found to be the nitty gritty of making a relationship last is the foundation of trust and respect and making sure the other feels valued and needed. If you have trust issues with your man, break up with him. It's plain and simple. Okay. Trust is built over time through careful, discerning speech, constantly showing up for each other, even when it's uncomfortable, and following through what you said you would do. So, like, let's say that you're having an argument with your partner. Don't leave. Don't slam the door and leave and disappear. Or if your partner does that, ask him, like, please, like, next time you get mad, do you mind just letting me know that you're coming back? I heard this tip from someone who's married, and she was sharing how like every time they would have a fight, he would like storm off, and she wouldn't know when he would come back. And for me, that's one of my biggest fears in a relationship, or that triggers fears for me. And vice versa, right? Men hate walking around angry women, or men are afraid of angry women. So, you have to learn how to build trust in your relationship so that you can get through the highs and lows. Okay. And then respect. This one's an important quality. Respect is a quality that's been diminishing in our society. We often condemn people who don't think like us or have different ways of solving a problem. Okay. We need to learn how to like I remember my husband, like he says things like that, like, don't you trust me? He loves to feel needed. That's just his thing. Like he's always got a solution to different problems. The other day, someone sent a footage about how someone is like breaking into cars on our block, And immediately my husband got like a security camera and was setting it up. Like, that's just his nature. He's there solving that problem. I'm not like that, Like, I'll be like, "Ooh, oh well," It's just, so we have to kind of like that's why we need them, and we need to show that we need them, okay? And then respect is about, like, letting each other have your own opinions and ways of doing things and honoring it, okay? Okay. So there's more in this chapter around creating healthy relationships with men. I share about how to go from me to we, like my journey of going from me to we, you know. And then I talk about sexy communication skills, how to listen to your man. I think listening is one of the most sexy qualities of a woman. If you're a good listener, you will have a man hooked onto you. It's such a great quality. And the second quality of of um, communication is how to communicate compassionately. And so I give tips here on how to communicate compassionately, how to share what you're feeling, what you're needing, and how to make a request, and how to hold space for a man. Like, men go through their own ups and downs, and how do you like hold empathetic space? So these are solid skills that I'm providing in this book that are going to help you in every relationship. Okay. So I guarantee that once you do this part of the book around skills, around communication skills, you're going to find that you're better than 80% of people who've never studied these skills before. Okay. So we're at the end of the hour for the book club today. I hope that you feel kind of open and earnest about dating now, right? About inviting the masculine into your life, about how you would communicate with men, how to create chemistry. I mean, these are all concepts, but I think, just having it activated within you. These are all things that you already know. They're in your DNA. As a woman, you are the culture builder, you are the relationship maker, the relationship expert. And this is just about awakening those qualities within you so you can navigate love and dating in an empowered way. And if you need support, check out our coaching page. We have therapists and coaches that can support you through this process. They've done it themselves, they've gone through the process, met amazing partners, and they'll help you become the most empowered version of yourself, most radiant version of yourself. Okay. Please recommend my book to other people who you think this could benefit. Please leave a great review on Amazon for my book. And please like this video if you can. And I look forward to seeing you next week for our final session on dating, on how to date with confidence. Okay. Take care. Have a blessed week.